Hey there, welcome in. Go ahead and get comfortable wherever you happen to be right now. Maybe you're already tucked under the blankets. Maybe you're lying on your side with one arm draped over a pillow. Maybe the lights are already low and the room has that soft, quiet feeling that only comes late at night. However you've arrived here, I'm really glad you did. There's no rush tonight. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, and nothing you have to figure out. You've already done the hard part just by lying down and letting yourself slow down for a little while. So take a slow breath in, if you feel like it, and let it go, nice and easy. That's it. We've got all the time in the world, you and I. Tonight, we're going to wander gently through something I find endlessly comforting, in a strange sort of way. We're going to talk about all the things that science still can't explain. 100 of them, actually, though we'll only drift through them slowly, the way you'd stroll through a quiet museum after closing time, with no crowds and no hurry. Just you and the soft hum of curiosity and a voice keeping you company while the day lets go of its grip. Now, before we settle in all the way, let me say one small thing, and then I promise I'll lower my voice and we'll ease into it properly. If you enjoy drifting off to these stories, if this becomes one of those little rituals that helps you let go at the end of a long day, it would mean the world if you tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't have to do it now. Honestly, don't even move if you're already comfortable. You can do it tomorrow, whenever it's easy. It's a small thing, but it helps more people find these quiet corners of the internet where we can rest together, because that's really what this is all about. Helping the world drift off, one sleepy soul at a time. And you, right now, you're one of them. So thank you for being here. All right, let's settle in for real now. Here's the thing about the world we live in. We tend to walk around assuming that somebody, somewhere, has already figured everything out. You flip a switch and the light comes on, and you don't think twice about it. You take a sip of water. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face. You fall asleep at night and wake up in the morning. And it all just seems so ordinary, so settled, so explained. We move through our days surrounded by things we take completely for granted, trusting that the big questions have all been answered by some clever person in a lab coat a long time ago. But the truth is, and I mean this in the gentlest, most soothing way possible, we understand far less than we think we do. And I don't say that to unsettle you. Quite the opposite, actually. There's something wonderfully calming about it when you let it wash over you. The universe is still full of mysteries. The ordinary is still stitched through with the unexplained. And you get to lie here, warm and safe, and simply marvel at how much wonder is still out there, without needing to solve any of it. Think about it for a moment. Really let it settle over you like a soft blanket. The greatest minds who have ever lived, the ones with all the awards and the thick books and the letters after their names, they'll be the first to tell you that the more they learn, the more they realize how much they don't know. Knowledge, it turns out, is a bit like a small island in a very large sea. The more the island grows, the longer its coastline becomes, and the more it touches the vast, dark, gentle ocean of everything we've yet to understand. And tonight, we're just going to float in that ocean together. Not struggling, not swimming hard toward any particular shore, just floating on our backs, looking up at the stars, letting the questions drift past like clouds. You don't need to remember any of this. You don't need to follow along closely. In fact, the whole point is that you don't. My voice is just here to give your busy mind something soft to hold on to, so it can loosen its grip on all the noise of the day and slowly, gently let go. You know, it's funny. We spend so much of our lives chasing certainty. We want answers. We want to know why things happen and how they work and what comes next. We lie awake sometimes, turning problems over and over, convinced that if we could just understand one more thing, we'd finally be able to rest. But here's a little secret that the wisest people seem to know. Sometimes the most peaceful thing you can do is simply admit that you don't know, and that it's okay not to know. The mystery isn't a problem to be solved before you're allowed to relax. The mystery is just part of the scenery, something beautiful to gaze at on your way to sleep. So that's what we'll be doing over the course of this long, slow evening. We'll be gazing at the mysteries, all the little things, and the enormous things that still leave scientists scratching their heads. Some of them will be about the deep reaches of space, out there among the stars, where the numbers get so large they stop meaning anything at all. Some of them will be right here, close to home, hidden inside your own body, inside the very mind that's slowly starting to drift as you listen. Some of them will be about the animals we share this planet with, and the strange, clever things they do that nobody has ever fully explained. And some will be so simple, so everyday, that you'll be amazed we don't have them figured out yet. But we'll take them all slowly, one at a time, like turning the pages of a very old, very gentle book by candlelight, where it doesn't matter if you fall asleep before the end. In fact, falling asleep before the end is rather the point. If you don't hear where this is going, if you drift off somewhere in the middle and never learn how it all wraps up, then I've done my job well. There's no ending you need to reach tonight. The only destination is sleep, and you're already on your way. Let me tell you a little about why I love this particular subject for a night like this. When you were small, and I mean really small, back before you learned to worry about anything, the whole world was a mystery. Everything was new. A shadow on the wall was a mystery. The way rain sounded on the window was a mystery. The moon following you home in the car was one of the great unsolved cases of your entire young life. And you weren't frightened by all that not knowing. You were soothed by it. You'd lie in your little bed, and the unexplained was simply the texture of the world, soft and endless and full of wonder. You'd let your eyes go heavy, and the mysteries would tuck you in. Somewhere along the way, most of us lost that. We started to feel that not knowing was uncomfortable, that every question needed an answer, and quickly, and that a mystery left open was somehow a threat. But tonight, we get to give ourselves permission to go back, to lie here in the dark, like a child again, perfectly safe, perfectly held, and let the mysteries of the world be soft and endless once more. Not problems, not threats, just the gentle, comforting hum of a universe that's far bigger and stranger and more wonderful than any of us will ever fully grasp. And there's a real freedom in that, isn't there? Because if the smartest people alive still don't have it all figured out, then you certainly don't need to figure it out tonight. You can lay every unanswered question down. The ones about the universe, sure, but also the small, quiet ones you've been carrying around all day. That thing you said, that email you didn't send, that worry about tomorrow. You can set all of it down, right here, right beside all the other great unsolved mysteries, and just let it rest. It'll still be there in the morning if you need it. But for now, you're off duty. The whole world is a mystery, and you don't have to solve a single bit of it. I want you to notice, just for a moment, how your body feels right now. Not to change anything, not to fix anything, just to notice. Feel the weight of yourself sinking down into whatever's holding you up. The mattress, the pillow, the soft give of the blankets. Feel how your body knows exactly how to be still, how it's already beginning to soften at the edges. Your shoulders, maybe, letting go a little. Your jaw, unclenching. That space between your eyebrows, smoothing out. You don't have to make any of this happen. Your body remembers how to rest. It's been doing it your whole life. All you have to do is get out of its way and let it. And isn't that, in itself, one of the great mysteries? That your body knows how to fall asleep, and yet you can't quite say how it does it. You can't point to the exact moment it happens. Nobody can. One moment you're here, listening, thinking, and the next, you've slipped across some invisible threshold into somewhere else entirely, and you won't even remember crossing it. We do it every single night of our lives, this quiet vanishing act, and it remains one of the deepest mysteries of all. We'll get to that one, actually, a little later, if you're still awake to hear it. But I suspect you won't be, and that's perfectly all right. So here's how the rest of our time together is going to go. I'm just going to keep talking, softly, gently, wandering from one mystery to the next, like a slow walk down a country lane at dusk. You don't need to keep up. You don't need to pay attention. My words are going to get slower and softer as we go, and your eyes are going to get heavier. And at some point, the two of us will simply part ways as you slip off into sleep. No goodbye needed. I'll keep the light on for a while after you've gone. There's no wrong way to do this. If your mind wanders off to something else, that's fine. Let it wander. If you drift halfway to sleep and then float back up again, that's fine too. Just let my voice be there, waiting, like a soft light left on in the hallway. If you need to shift or turn over or fluff your pillow, go right ahead. There's nothing you can do wrong here. This whole space is yours, and it's built for one single purpose: to help you let go of this day and to carry you kindly toward morning. The world outside can be so loud, can't it? So full of demands and deadlines and things that need doing. But none of that can reach you here. Here, in this little pocket of calm we've made together, the only thing on the agenda is wonder. And the only thing you have to do is rest. The mysteries we'll explore aren't here to make you think hard. They're here to give your mind a soft, quiet place to lie down, the same way you're lying down now. So let's begin, slowly. Let's step together into that vast, gentle ocean of everything we don't yet understand, and let it hold us up. There are 100 mysteries waiting out there in the dark, patient and unhurried, and we have all night to drift among them. Not to solve them, never to solve them, just to let them lull us, one soft wonder at a time, down and down and down towards sleep. Let your breathing settle into its own slow rhythm now, in and out, nice and easy. Feel how each breath out lets you sink just a little deeper. There's nowhere else to be. there's nothing else to do. There's only this quiet room, and this soft voice, and the enormous, comforting mystery of a world that nobody has ever fully understood. And you, resting right in the middle of it all, exactly where you're meant to be. So stay with me now, as we begin to wander. Let the first of the mysteries come drifting in like a slow tide, warm around your ankles, asking nothing of you at all. Let's start with something you carry with you, everywhere. Something so close and so familiar that you've probably never once stopped to wonder about it. Gravity. That quiet, patient force holding you down onto your bed right now, pressing you gently into the mattress, keeping the blankets resting softly against your skin. It's the reason your body feels heavy in that lovely, sinking way when you finally lie down at the end of the day. And here's the thing that might surprise you. We don't really know what it is. Oh, we can measure it. We can describe it beautifully, with elegant equations that predict exactly how planets swing around the sun and how an apple falls from a branch. We've known how gravity behaves for hundreds of years now. But knowing how something behaves isn't the same as knowing what it actually is. Nobody can tell you why mass pulls on other mass. Nobody can hold up a little piece of gravity and say, "Here, this is the thing that's keeping you in your bed tonight." It's everywhere, all the time, the most constant companion you've ever had. And it remains, at its very heart, a genuine mystery. Isn't that a soft and lovely thought to rest on? The very thing holding you safe against the earth, the thing that will keep you from drifting off your bed while you sleep, is something the greatest minds who ever lived still can't fully explain. And you don't have to explain it either. You just get to feel it. That gentle, downward pull, cradling you, tucking you in better than any blanket ever could. Let it hold you now. Let yourself grow heavier with it, sinking, softening, giving all your weight over to the bed beneath you, the way you were always meant to. Let that heaviness spread from the top of your head, down through your shoulders, along your arms, all the way to your fingertips. There's a beautiful surrender in it, isn't there? Just letting gravity do what it does. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. Not tonight. The earth has you. Now let your mind drift, slow and unhurried, towards something else we don't understand. Toward the ocean. Not the ocean of mysteries we talked about earlier, but a real one, dark and vast and rolling somewhere out there in the night. We've mapped the surface of the moon in stunning detail. We've got photographs of Mars so clear you could count the pebbles. And yet, more than 80% of our own oceans have never been explored. Never seen, never touched by human eyes. Think about that for just a moment, but softly, gently, the way you turn over a smooth stone in your palm, down there, in the deepest trenches, in water so far from the surface that no sunlight has ever reached it. Not once in all the history of the world. There are creatures living their whole lives in total darkness. Some of them make their own light, tiny living lanterns drifting through the black. Some of them look like nothing we have words for. And most of them, we've never seen at all. There could be thousands of kinds of animals down there, whole families of living things, going about their quiet business right now while you lie here, warm and safe and drifting towards sleep. It's peaceful in a way, isn't it? To know that the world is still that full of secrets. That there are places so deep and so calm and so untouched that they've kept themselves hidden from us entirely. The The deep ocean isn't frightening. Not tonight. Tonight, it's just a vast, dark, gently rocking cradle, moving with slow currents that have been flowing for longer than there have been people to notice them. Imagine sinking down through that water, slowly, weightlessly, past the last of the light, into the soft and silent dark. Nothing to bump into, nothing to worry about, just down, and quietly down. And the strange thing about the deep sea is how still it is, how slow. Down there, time seems to move differently. A single current might take 1,000 years to make its way around the world, drifting so patiently that you could never watch it move. The water down in those depths might have last touched the surface when there were castles being built. When people looked up at the very same stars you can't quite see through your ceiling right now, that same water, patient and cool and endlessly slow, still turning through the dark. There's no rush down there. There never has been, and there's no rush here either. Let yourself move at that pace now, the pace of deep water, the pace of things that have all the time in the world. Your breath, slow as a deep current. Your thoughts, drifting past like pale creatures in the dark, there for a moment, and then gone. And you don't need to follow any of them. Just let them pass. Let's rise back up now, gently, towards something you can almost see, toward the sky, because there's a mystery up there too, one so big and so old that it makes the whole business of falling asleep feel wonderfully small and cozy by comparison. When scientists look out at the universe, when they add up all the stars and all the planets and all the glowing clouds of gas, all the stuff we can actually see and touch and measure, they find something rather odd. It only accounts for about 5% of everything that's out there. 5%. That's all the ordinary matter, all the things made of the same stuff you're made of, that we can find. So what's the rest? What's the other 95%? Well, that's the thing. We don't really know. Scientists have given it names, lovely mysterious names, dark matter and dark energy. But those names are really just polite ways of saying something is out there, something enormous, and we haven't the faintest idea what it is. The vast, overwhelming majority of the entire universe is a complete and total mystery. I find that strangely soothing, don't you? We spend our days feeling like we're supposed to have all the answers, like everyone else has it figured out, and we're the only ones muddling through. And meanwhile, the whole cosmos is out there being mostly unexplained, mostly unknown, and getting along perfectly well anyway. The universe doesn't need to be understood to keep turning. The stars don't need us to explain them to keep shining. They just are, vast and quiet and mysterious, wheeling slowly overhead while you rest. Picture that dark matter now, if you like, though of course, nobody knows what it looks like. Imagine it as a soft, invisible presence woven through everything, holding the galaxies together the way a hand cups around a candle flame. It's there in the space between the stars. It's there, in some strange way, all around you right now, passing gently and silently, through the room, through the walls, through you, and you'd never feel a thing. A quiet, invisible ocean that the whole universe floats in. And you, floating in it too, drifting off to sleep in the middle of the greatest unsolved mystery there is. There's something wonderfully freeing about being a small, warm, sleepy thing in the middle of all that vastness. You don't have to figure any of it out. You don't have to hold any of it up. It was here long before you, and it'll be here long after, turning slowly through the dark. And all you have to do tonight is rest inside it. Let the bigness of it all wrap around you like the softest, largest blanket ever made. You're a tiny, glowing point of warmth in an enormous and gentle mystery. And that's exactly enough. Now, let's bring it back down to something close again. Something as close as your own hand resting on the blanket. Let's talk about the strange, quiet miracle of touch. Because here's something curious. When you touch something, when your fingers rest against the cool cotton of your pillowcase, nothing actually touches anything at all. Not really. The atoms in your fingertips never quite make contact with the atoms in the fabric. What you feel as touch, that soft, immediate, comforting sensation of contact, is really just tiny forces pushing gently against each other, a hair's breadth apart. You have never, in your entire life, truly touched anything. Isn't that a peculiar and lovely thing to drift on? Everything you've ever held has been held at the very smallest of distances. And yet it feels so real, so warm, so present. The weight of a blanket, the give of a pillow, the soft press of the mattress along your back, all of it, a gentle illusion of contact, a conversation between forces too small to ever see. And it works perfectly. It comforts you completely. You don't need it to be literally true to feel held by it right now. So feel that now, that not quite touch that feels like everything. The places where your body meets the bed, the soft fabric against your cheek, the warmth gathering under the covers. Even if the atoms never quite meet, the comfort is entirely real. Let yourself notice each point of gentle contact, and let each one soften as you do. Your heels, the backs of your knees, your shoulders, the weight of your head sinking into the pillow. You know, the more you wander through these mysteries, the more you start to notice a certain pattern to them. All the biggest, most fundamental things, the things that are with us constantly, the things we lean on every single moment of every single day. Those are the very things we understand the least. Gravity holding us down, time carrying us along, the stuff the universe is made of, the nature of touch itself. We build our whole lives on top of these things. We trust them completely. And yet if you were to ask a room full of the cleverest scientists in the world to explain any one of them, truly explain it, all the way down, they'd go quiet. And there's a deep comfort in that, I think, especially now, especially here in the dark. It means that not knowing isn't a failure. Not knowing is just the honest state of things. Even the people who've spent their whole lives studying the universe end up, in the end, standing before it in a kind of quiet wonder. The same wonder you can feel right now, sinking into your bed. You're not behind. You're not missing something everyone else understands. Nobody understands it. We're all just here together, small and curious and sleepy, resting on top of a great pile of beautiful mysteries. So let that thought loosen something in you. All those questions you carry, all those things you feel like you ought to have sorted out by now. Set them down beside gravity and dark matter and the deep, unexplored sea. They're in good company there. They can wait. The morning will still come, whether you understand it or not. The sun will still rise, pulled up over the horizon by forces we can describe, but can't quite explain. and you'll wake into it, rested, whether you solved a single thing tonight or not. Feel how quiet the room has become. Feel how slow your breathing has grown, all on its own, without you having to guide it at all. That's the mystery of your own body, taking care of you, doing 1,000 quiet things in the dark that you never have to think about. Your heart, keeping its slow, steady time. Your lungs, filling and emptying like a gentle tide. All of it running smoothly, softly, carrying you towards sleep without asking anything of you. Let it. Just let it. There's nothing left for you to do now but rest and drift and let the next mystery come floating in whenever it's ready. We have all night. There's no hurry at all, only the slow, warm tide and your slow, warm breath and the great quiet dark holding us both. Let me tell you about one of my very favorite mysteries, and it's a fitting one, drifting here on the edge of sleep the way you are. Dreams. We all do it, every single night. Whether we remember it or not, our minds slip away from the waking world and spin these strange, vivid little stories. And to this day, nobody can tell you for certain why. Isn't that something? You're about to do it yourself, maybe within the hour. This thing that human beings have been doing since before we had words to describe it. And the wisest thinkers who've ever lived still can't fully agree on what it's for. There are ideas, of course. Some say dreaming is how the mind sorts through the day, filing away what matters, letting go of what doesn't, like a librarian moving quietly through the stacks after closing time. Others think it's how we rehearse, how we practice for things that frighten us in a safe little theater where nothing can truly hurt us. And some believe it means nothing at all, just the soft electrical hum of a resting brain, sparks in the dark, signifying nothing. Nobody knows. And here's the lovely part. You don't need to know. Tonight, when you slip into your own dreams, you won't have to understand a single thing about them. You'll just go, wherever they take you, the way you'd follow a winding path through a wood without needing a map. So let that be a gentle permission. You're about to wander into one of the deepest mysteries there is, and all you have to do is close your eyes and let it happen. And here's a close cousin of that mystery, one you might feel tugging at you already. Why do we sleep at all? You'd think we'd have that one figured out by now, wouldn't you? We spend roughly 1/3 of our whole lives doing it. If you live to be 90, that's around 30 years spent asleep. 30 years. And yet, ask the scientists what sleep is really for at the deepest level, and they'll give you that same quiet, honest shrug. Oh, they know some of it. They know sleep helps the body repair itself, helps the mind knit up the loose threads of the day. They know that without it, we start to fray. We grow foggy and slow and strange. But why a creature like us should have to switch off entirely, lie down defenseless in the dark for hours and hours every single night, when the world out there was once so full of dangers, that remains a genuine puzzle. From the point of view of pure survival, it almost seems like a terrible idea. And yet every animal does it in one form or another. The great whales sleep with half their brains at a time, one side resting while the other keeps them rising to breathe. Birds can sleep on the wing. Even the smallest creatures, the ones you'd never think of, drift into their own tiny versions of rest. There's something so unifying about that, isn't there? Every living thing, from the whale in the deep ocean to the moth on your windowsill, to you, right here, right now. All of us pulled under by the same soft, ancient need. You're joining something enormous when you sleep tonight. Something older than language, older than fire, older than our species itself. You don't have to earn it or understand it. It's simply yours, the way it belongs to every creature that has ever lived. So let it come. Let it pull you gently under into that great shared dark where all living things go to be restored. Now here's one that always makes me smile. Yawning. Such an ordinary little thing, isn't it? You've probably done it a dozen times already tonight, or you will before we're through. And yet, would you believe nobody can tell you for certain why we do it? It seems like it should be the simplest thing in the world to explain. But it isn't. We used to think it was about oxygen, that a yawn was the body's way of gulping down a big breath when it was running low. But that turned out not to hold up. People yawn just as much, whether the air is rich with oxygen or thin without it. Some researchers now think a yawn might actually cool the brain, like opening a window in a warm room, letting a little air move through. Others think it's about wakefulness, a way of nudging ourselves back to alertness when we're starting to drift. And then there's the strangest part of all. Yawns are contagious. You know this. You felt it. Someone across the room yawns, or you simply read the word, and suddenly, there it is, rising up in you too. Even now, I'd wager, just talking about it, you might feel that soft pull at the back of your jaw. Isn't it funny how a mystery can be so close to us, so utterly familiar, and still be a mystery? We carry these little unexplained things around inside our own bodies, doing them every day without a second thought. There's something wonderfully humbling about that. You don't need to have life figured out. Your own body is still keeping secrets from the greatest scientists alive, and it does it effortlessly every single day. So if you feel a yawn come now, let it come. Let it stretch through you, slow and easy. One more small mystery moving through you, on its way towards sleep. Here's another that lives right at the edge of what we understand, and it's a gentle one to rest on. The placebo effect. You've heard of it, I'm sure. The strange, almost magical fact that a person can be given a pill with nothing in it at all, just a little sugar, nothing more. And if they believe it will help them, sometimes, remarkably, it does. Their pain eases, their symptoms soften, their body begins, quietly, to heal. Now think about how odd that is when you really sit with it. There's no medicine in the pill. Nothing physical is happening except a belief, a quiet expectation, a hope, and somehow that alone is enough to send real, measurable ripples through the body. The mind, it seems, has a kind of quiet power over the flesh that we've only barely begun to map. We can see it working. We can measure it in careful studies again and again. But how a mere expectation reaches down into the machinery of the body and starts turning the gears that we truly cannot explain. And there's such comfort in that, I think, especially now. It means that what you believe, what you expect, the gentle stories you tell yourself as you drift off, those things matter. They reach into you. So as you lie here, let yourself expect rest. Let yourself believe, softly, that sleep is coming, that your body knows exactly what to do, that you are safe and warm and cared for. You don't have to force it. You only have to lean gently toward the expectation of peace and let that quiet power do the rest. Let me tell you about the birds now, because this one has always filled me with a kind of hushed awe. Every year, as the seasons turn, millions upon millions of birds lift off and travel enormous distances across the face of the earth. Some of them fly thousands of kilometers, from one end of the world nearly to the other, and back again the following year. Tiny creatures, some of them small enough to hold in the palm of your hand, crossing oceans and mountains and deserts, and finding their way, with astonishing precision, to the very same patch of ground they left the year before. And how do they do it? That's the mystery. We have pieces of the answer. We think they read the position of the sun and the stars at night, the way old sailors once did. We think some of them can actually sense the Earth's magnetic field, that they carry within them some quiet inner compass we don't fully understand, feeling the invisible lines of the planet the way you or I might feel the warmth of the sun on our skin. Imagine that, to simply know which way is home, deep in your body, without a map, without a thought, just a soft and certain pull in the right direction. There's something so peaceful in picturing them, isn't there? All those small travelers moving through the dark sky above the sleeping world, guided by forces they don't have to understand, trusting completely in something they can feel but never see. And maybe that's a lovely thing to carry down into sleep with you. That same quiet trust. You don't have to see the way forward. You don't have to hold the whole map in your head. Like the birds, you can simply let yourself be carried gently by something older and wiser than your worrying mind toward the rest that's waiting for you. Now here's one that feels almost too strange to be true, but it is. When you go in for an operation and they give you anesthesia, that deep, dreamless nothing that switches your awareness off completely, would you believe that nobody fully understands how it works? We've been using it for well over 150 years. Millions of people undergo it safely every single day. And still, the precise way it reaches into the brain and gently lifts consciousness away, like someone dimming a lamp until the room goes dark, remains genuinely mysterious. We know which substances do it. We know the doses. We know the effects. We've grown remarkably skilled at guiding people down into that deep stillness and bringing them safely back up again. But the deepest question, what consciousness even is, and how exactly it can be switched off and switched on again, that sits right at the frontier of what we understand. Because to explain how anesthesia works, you'd first have to explain what awareness itself is, and that, perhaps, is the greatest mystery of all. Think about it. Right now, there is a warm light of awareness glowing somewhere behind your eyes. You are here. You're experiencing this moment, these words, the softness of your bed, the quiet of the room. And nobody, not one single scientist or philosopher in all of history, can tell you exactly what that light is, or where it comes from, or how a few pounds of quiet tissue inside your skull can give rise to the feeling of simply being you. It's called the hard problem, that one, and it's earned its name. But tonight, you don't have to solve it. Tonight, that gentle light of yours is allowed to grow soft and dim, all on its own, the way it does every night. You get to set it down. That's what sleep is, in a way. A nightly, ordinary miracle, where the light of you flickers low, and you rest in the mystery of your own being. And then, come morning, it rises again, warm and whole, without you ever having to understand a thing about how. Isn't it a wonder when you gather them all up like this? Dreams and sleep and yawns, the quiet power of belief, birds crossing continents by feel, the soft dark of anesthesia, the great glowing mystery of awareness itself. So many things, so close to us, woven right through the fabric of an ordinary day, and every one of them still keeping its secrets. We swim in mysteries the way a fish swims in water, so surrounded by them that we forget they're even there. And there's no fixing that tonight. There's no need to. You can just float here among them, in the warm dark, one small and curious and sleepy creature resting in the middle of a world that's far stranger and lovelier than it usually lets on. Let each of these wonders drift past you like lights on the water, asking nothing, offering only the gentle reminder that you don't have to understand a thing to be held safely within it. You're already exactly where you belong, carried along by forces that have looked after you your whole life, quietly, faithfully, without ever once needing your permission or your understanding. So let the next mystery come, whenever it's ready. There's no hurry at all. We have the whole long night ahead of us, and nothing to do but drift and wonder and slowly, softly, let go. So let's let the next one drift in now, softly, the way a cloud slides across the moon without any effort at all. Here's a strange and gentle one for you. Déjà vu. You know the feeling. You walk into a room you've never seen before, or someone says a sentence you're certain you've never heard, and yet something deep inside you whispers, I've been here before. This exact moment, this exact light. It washes over you like a wave, and then, just as quickly, it's gone. And here's the thing that always makes me smile in the dark. Nobody really knows why it happens. Some scientists think it's a tiny hiccup in the way your brain files a memory, like a letter that gets stamped as old the very instant it arrives. Others think two parts of your mind briefly fall out of step with each other, one running just a fraction of a heartbeat ahead of the other, so the present moment arrives wearing the costume of the past. But the honest truth is, we don't know. Millions of us feel it, all over the world, this quiet little shiver of recognition, and it remains one of those soft mysteries tucked right inside the ordinary machinery of being alive. Isn't that a lovely thing to rest on? That even your own memory keeps a few secrets from you, and means you no harm by it at all. And speaking of memory, there's a whole warm ocean of mystery in that word too. Think about it for a moment, but gently, the way you trace a finger along the edge of something soft. Somewhere inside you, right now, is the smell of a kitchen from when you were very small, the sound of a voice you loved, the exact feeling of a summer afternoon that ended long ago. All of it, folded away somewhere in the quiet dark of you, waiting. And nobody can tell you precisely where it lives. We can point to regions of the brain that light up when a memory forms. We can watch the little sparks travel and connect. But the memory itself, the actual feeling of remembering, where is that? Is it in one place or scattered across 1,000? How does a single afternoon from decades ago survive, whole and warm, while yesterday's lunch quietly slips away? We don't fully know. Your whole life is written somewhere inside you, in an ink nobody has ever truly read. And yet there it is, faithful, holding on to the things that made you who you are. You can let all of that rest now. You don't have to reach for any of it tonight. It'll keep safe and sound the way it always has. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper into the mattress as we drift on. There's no rush. We have all the time in the world. Here's another one, and it's so close to you that you might have forgotten it's even strange. Time itself, the way it feels. You've noticed, surely, how an hour spent waiting for something crawls by like cold honey, while an hour spent with someone you love vanishes in what feels like a single breath. Same 60 minutes, same steady ticking of every clock in the world. And yet your experience of it stretches and shrinks like something alive. Why is that? What is this inner clock that runs so much faster or slower than the one on the wall? We can measure time down to unimaginably tiny slivers. We can build machines so precise they'd lose barely a second across the entire age of the universe. And still, the simple human feeling of time passing, the way a childhood summer felt endless, and a year in your later life can slip past like a weekend, that remains beautifully unexplained. Some think it's about how much newness we take in, that time feels slow when everything is fresh and quick, when the days start to rhyme with one another. But nobody knows for certain. So tonight, you can let time do whatever it likes. Let it stretch out long and soft around you. Let this quiet hour feel like it could go on forever. Because in a way, right now, for you, it can. And here's a soothing thought to lay alongside that one. The pull of running water, the sound of it. Have you ever noticed how a stream, or gentle rain against the window, or waves folding onto a shore, seems to reach straight past all your busy thinking and settle you right down to your bones? Scientists have poked at this, of course. They talk about the steady, unpredictable, but not alarming rhythm of it, the way it holds your attention just enough to quiet the restless part of your mind without ever demanding anything. But why it should feel like coming home, why the sound of water should loosen something tight in the chest of nearly every human being who's ever lived, that isn't fully pinned down. Maybe it's older than words. Maybe some part of us remembers that where there's flowing water, there's life and safety and a place to rest. You don't need the answer. You only need to let that sound, real or imagined, move through you now, carrying the last of the day's tightness away, downstream, out of sight, gone. Let's wander a little further. Mind the soft grass under your feet as we go. Have you ever wondered why music can reach right into you and move you to tears, or lift you, or wrap you in comfort, when it's really just air, trembling? That's all a sound is. When you get down to it, little waves of pressure moving through the room, rippling against your ear. And yet arrange those ripples just so, in a certain order, at a certain pace, and a grown person can be undone by them. A lullaby can settle a crying baby who understands not one single word. A melody can bring back someone you've lost more vividly than any photograph. And nobody can fully explain why. Why should patterns in the air have any power over the heart at all? There's no obvious reason a creature needs to weep at a violin to survive. And yet here we are, every culture that has ever existed, in every corner of the earth, making music, needing it, soothing our children and our sorrows with it. It's one of the deepest and most tender mysteries there is, hiding in plain sight in every song you've ever loved. So if there's a tune drifting somewhere in the back of your mind right now, a soft one, let it play. Let it do its gentle, unexplainable work and carry you a little further down towards sleep. And here's one that lives right in your own chest, quiet and constant. The way a gentle touch can calm you. The way a hand resting on your shoulder or being held when you're frightened can slow a racing heart and ease a troubled mind. We know a little about the chemistry of it, the soft flood of calm that a kind touch can bring. But the fuller story, why we are built to be soothed by nearness, why the simple warmth of another living being can reach places that words and reason never touch, that remains something science circles around without quite landing on. We are creatures made for gentleness, it seems, wired somewhere deep for comfort, and yet the how and the why of it stay softly out of reach. Tonight, you can imagine that same gentle weight, a warm hand, a kind presence resting lightly over you, asking nothing, simply keeping you company in the dark. You are not alone in the mystery. Nobody ever really is. Let your breathing go slow and easy now, in and out. Like the tide we talked about. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to push away. Here's a curious little one, and it belongs to the creatures who share our homes. Why does a cat purr? You'd think, of all things, we'd have that one sorted. It's right there in our laps, that soft rumbling motor, warm and steady. And yet we're still not entirely sure why they do it, or exactly how. We know cats purr when they're content, curled up and safe. But they also purr when they're hurt, when they're frightened, even sometimes as they're dying. Some scientists think the particular frequency of that rumble might actually help their bodies heal, might knit bone and soothe pain, a kind of built-in medicine humming away inside them. Imagine that, a comfort that comforts the comforter too. But we don't fully understand it, this small everyday marvel that has been falling asleep on human laps for thousands of years. There's something lovely in that, isn't there? That even the most familiar warmth in the house keeps a gentle secret. If you've ever drifted off to the sound of a purring cat, you already know a little of what I mean. That deep, low, endless rumble that says, without a single word, everything is all right. You can rest now. And that's really what all of these have been whispering. All night long, hasn't it? Everything is all right. You can rest now, whether it's gravity holding you to your bed, or memory keeping your whole life safe inside you, or the strange soft pull of running water, or a cat's quiet motor, or the trembling air of a song you love. Every one of these mysteries is doing its work, whether you understand it or not. Faithfully, patiently, asking nothing of you at all. You have spent so much of your life feeling like you needed to keep up, to know the answers, to stay on top of it all. And here, in the warm dark, you get to set every bit of that down and simply be one more gentle mystery among all the others, breathing softly, held safely, exactly where you belong. Before we drift on into the next of these quiet wonders, let me ask you something, softly, just to carry with you as you fall. Which of these little mysteries lives closest to your own heart? Is there one you felt yourself, some evening, some ordinary moment, when the world tipped open just a little and showed you it was stranger and lovelier than it usually lets on? Maybe a rush of déjà vu that stopped you in your tracks. Maybe a song that moved you to tears for no reason you could name. If you feel like it, whenever morning comes and you're rested and warm, leave a little note down in the comments and tell me which mystery is yours, or which one you'd love to hear more about on a future night. I read them, truly. And there's something quietly wonderful about a whole gathering of sleepy, curious souls swapping the small mysteries they carry. But that's for the morning. For now, there's nothing to write and nothing to answer. There's only this, the warm dark, the slow tide of your own breathing, and one more wonder waiting patiently up ahead, in no hurry at all, whenever you're ready to let it drift softly in. And here it comes now, drifting in as softly as the last one drifted out. Let it settle over you like another thin, warm layer of blanket. Nothing you have to reach for, nothing you have to hold. Just let it arrive. The next little wonder is one you've been doing since before you were born. And you'll do it a few 100 million more times before your life is through. And yet, if you sit with it, it's downright astonishing that it works at all. I'm talking about your heart, that steady drum in your chest, beating away right now, keeping its own quiet time whether you think about it or not. Here's the strange part. Every single cell in your heart, if you took it out and set it on its own, would keep on beating. All by itself. A little twitch of life, pulsing on with no brain to tell it to, no signal from above. And when you gather them together, all those tiny beating cells somehow agree. They fall into step. They find one shared rhythm, the way a crowd of people clapping in a room will, without anyone conducting, slowly drift into a single beat. Your heart is a whole chorus of tiny hearts, all deciding, moment by moment, to move together. And we still can't fully explain how they settle on that rhythm, how they keep it so faithfully across a whole lifetime, through all your running and resting and worrying and loving, never once asking you to remember to do it for them. Isn't that a kind thing? That the most important beat in your body is one you never have to keep yourself. It just goes, softly, steadily, right now, as you lie here. You can feel it if you want to, that gentle, patient thud, doing its quiet work, asking nothing of you at all. Or you can simply let it fade into the background, where it's always lived, and drift on. Because there's another one waiting, and this one is even closer than your heartbeat. This one is the very breath moving in and out of you as I speak. Breathing. You'd think we'd have that one all figured out, wouldn't you? It seems so simple. Air in, air out, the oldest habit you have. But here's the thing that still puzzles the people who study it. Your breath sits right on the border between two worlds. Most of the time, you don't think about it at all. It happens on its own, all through the night, all through the years, whether you're paying attention or not. And yet, the moment you decide to, you can take the reins. You can breathe slower, deeper, hold it, let it go. Almost nothing else in your body works that way. Half yours to command, and half running quietly without you. And exactly how that handoff happens. How your body knows when to let you steer and when to take over again. How it keeps that perfect balance every second of every day. That's still not something we fully understand. There's something wonderfully soothing in that, I think. That the very thing carrying you gently down into sleep right now is a small mystery of its own. So let it slow. Let each breath come a little longer, a little softer than the one before. In, without any effort, and out, letting go of just a little more. You don't have to control it. You don't have to count it. Just let your body do the thing it has always known how to do. The thing even the wisest minds can't fully explain, and let it carry you down. And while we're here, drifting on the slow tide of your own breath. Let me tell you about something that happens to nearly every one of us, and yet almost nobody ever talks about, because it feels too small, too strange to mention. Have you ever been right on the edge of sleep, just about where you are now, warm and heavy and starting to sink, when suddenly your whole body gives a little jump? A twitch, a jolt, like you missed a step on a staircase that wasn't there? Almost everyone has felt it. It has a name, a lovely old-fashioned one, a hypnic jerk, though most people just call it that falling feeling. And here's the wonderful part. We still don't really know why it happens. There are ideas, of course, gentle guesses. Some think that as your body powers down for sleep, as your muscles go soft and your breathing slows, some old and watchful part of your brain misreads all that letting go. It feels you going limp, feels you sinking, and for just a heartbeat, it wonders if you're falling, really falling, out of a tree the way some distant ancestor might have, dozing on a branch long ago. And so it sends one last little jolt to catch you, to grab hold, before it realizes there's nothing to catch, that you're safe in your bed, that you were only ever falling asleep. Isn't that a tender thought? That even the twitch on the edge of sleep might be some ancient, caring part of you, still keeping watch, still trying to hold you safe, long after there's any need. If you feel one tonight, that gentle jump as you drift down, you don't have to worry about it at all. It's just your oldest self saying, softly, I've got you. And then letting go, letting you sink the rest of the way down into rest. Let your body grow heavier now, heavier and softer, sinking just a little deeper into the mattress with every slow breath. There's no falling here. There's only settling, the way a leaf settles onto still water, the way dust settles in a sunbeam, drifting slower and slower until it comes to rest. You are coming to rest. And there is one more small wonder I want to lay beside you while you do. This one lives in your eyes, though you never see it happen. Blinking, something you do somewhere between 15 and 20 times a minute, all day long, tens of thousands of times before you sleep tonight, and never once notice. You'd think blinking would be the most ordinary thing in the world, hardly worth a scientist's afternoon. But here's what puzzles them. You blink far more often than your eyes actually need you to. Far more than it takes to keep them clean and wet. So why all the extra? Well, some researchers have found something rather beautiful. It seems that in those tiny moments when your eyes close, just a fraction of a second, your busy, buzzing brain takes a little rest. A micro pause. A momentary drawing inward, a chance to gather itself before the world comes flooding back in. It's as though, thousands of times a day, without you ever knowing, you've been giving yourself these countless little breaks, these blinks of quiet, these small, soft closings of the curtain. And we still can't fully explain the rhythm of it, why your blinks land where they do, why they seem to come at just the right moments, at the pauses in a sentence, at the ends of things. But isn't it a comfort to know that your body has been building rest into your day all along, in doses so small you never felt them? All those tiny closings, all day long, were only ever practice for the big one. For this one, for now, when your eyes close and simply stay closed, and the curtain comes down slow and soft and doesn't need to rise again until morning. Let them close if they haven't already. Let them stay. This is the blink your body has been rehearsing for your whole life long. And here in the dark, behind your own closed eyes, let me tell you about something we all carry. Something that feels as ordinary as breath and is every bit as strange when you look at it closely. Your sense of time, not the clock on the wall, not the numbers ticking over, but the time you feel deep inside. The way an afternoon can stretch on forever when you're waiting, and a whole happy evening with people you love can vanish in what feels like a breath. We still don't really understand how your brain keeps time, how it decides that this moment was long and that one was short, why the very same hour can feel like an age, or like nothing at all. There's no single clock inside you ticking off the seconds. Instead, there seem to be many, all working together, all whispering their own soft counts, and somehow, out of all of them, you get your feeling of time passing. And here's the loveliest part for a night like this. As you drift down into sleep, that whole delicate machinery begins to loosen and blur. Time stops behaving. An hour of sleep can feel like a moment, or a moment can feel like a whole long dream that seemed to last for days. You felt that, haven't you? Waking from a nap, sure that hours have gone by, when it was only 20 minutes. Or surfacing from a dream so long and full, you can't believe the night has hardly moved. That soft unraveling of time is already beginning in you now. So you don't need to keep track of anything. You don't need to know how long you've been lying here, or how long until morning. Let the clock inside you go quiet and slow. Let the minutes lose their edges and pool together like warm water. There is nowhere to be and no hour to reach. There is only this soft, shapeless, timeless drifting, and it can last exactly as long as you need. Do you feel how the room has changed around you? How the world has gone soft at its edges, the way it does in that gentle place between waking and sleep. That place has a name too, a beautiful one. The hypnagogic state, they call it, that dim golden borderland you cross every single night, where thoughts start to melt into images, where a stray idea becomes a picture, then a scene, then a dream, without you ever choosing it. It's one of the most creative places the human mind ever visits, and one of the least understood. All through history, people have gone looking for it on purpose. There are stories of inventors and painters who would doze in a chair holding something in their hand, a spoon, a set of keys, so that just as they slipped over the edge into sleep, their fingers would loosen, the object would clatter to the floor, and they'd wake, catching whatever strange and lovely thing their mind had drifted into on the way down. They were fishing in that borderland, you see, casting a line into the place you're floating in right now. But you don't need to fish for anything tonight. You don't need to catch a single thought or bring anything back. You get to do what almost no one in those old stories allowed themselves to do. You get to keep going, to let the spoon fall and not wake at all, to let the pictures come, whatever they are, soft and slow and strange, and simply follow them down, deeper, past the borderland, past the last thin edge of thinking, into the wide, warm dark, where all the mysteries are keeping their quiet watch over you. And they are, you know. Everyone we've wandered past tonight is still here, still humming softly all around you. Gravity, holding you gently to your bed. Your heart, keeping its faithful chorus. Your breath, moving on its own. That old caring twitch, ready to catch you and finding nothing to catch. The blink your eyes have finally, fully, taken. Time going soft and shapeless. The golden borderland opening its door. None of them need anything from you. None of them are waiting on an answer. They're simply here, doing their quiet, patient work, the way they always have, the way they always will, whether you understand a single bit of it or not. And that is the gift of all of this, the thing I most want to leave with you as you sink. You do not have to understand a thing to be held safely inside it. You never did. So let go of the last little bit you were still holding. Let it slip from your fingers like that spoon. There's nothing to catch, nothing to solve, nothing to carry down with you. There is only the warm dark and the slow tide of your breathing, and one more gentle wonder drifting up ahead, in no hurry at all, waiting to meet you further down, whenever you're ready to let it come. And here it comes now, drifting up out of the dark, soft and unhurried. It's a small thing, this next wonder, something your own body does, something you've done 1,000 times. Maybe when you were happy, maybe when you were sad, maybe watching something on a screen that reached in and touched a tender spot you didn't know was there. Tears, the crying kind, not the ordinary kind that keep your eyes wet and clean all day, but the emotional kind, the ones that come when you feel something too big to hold. And here's the strange, quiet truth of it. Nobody really knows why we do that. We are, as far as anyone can tell, the only creature on this whole earth that weeps from feeling. Other animals have eyes that water. Other animals hurt and grieve and love. But no dog, no whale, no wise old elephant sheds a single tear because its heart is full. Only us. And when scientists look closely at those emotional tears, they find something even odder. They're not quite the same as the everyday ones. The tears you cry from feeling carry more of certain things inside them. Hormones, little chemical messengers, as though your body were trying to pour something out of you, to wash a heaviness away. Some people think that's exactly what crying is for. A kind of release valve, a way of letting the pressure down when a feeling grows too large. Others think it's a signal, a soft flag your face raises to the people around you, a way of saying, without a single word, please, be gentle with me. I need you close. But the honest answer, the deep down answer, is that we simply don't know for sure. We've been crying since the very beginning, every one of us, and we still can't fully say why the salt water comes. Isn't that a tender thing to rest on? That something so deeply human, so woven into every life that's ever been lived, is still, at its heart, a mystery. You don't have to understand your own tears to be comforted by them. You never did. Let that thought settle over you now, warm and forgiving, as you sink another gentle inch into the dark. And while you're drifting there, let me show you something on your own skin, something you carry with you everywhere, something no one else in the whole history of the world has ever had or ever will. Your fingertips, the little swirls and loops and ridges pressed into the skin at the ends of your fingers. Look, you don't need to actually lift your hand. Just picture them, those tiny private maps you've had since before you were born. Because here's the wonder of it. Not one other person alive shares your pattern. Not your mother, not your children, not even an identical twin who grew beside you in the same warm dark. Around 8 billion people are walking this earth tonight, and every single one of them has a different set of prints. And every human who came before all the billions upon billions of them, stretching back further than we can even count. Each one had their own as well, all different, every time. And you'd think, wouldn't you, that we'd know exactly why we have them. We've got some pretty good guesses. For a long time, people were sure the ridges helped us grip, that they gave our fingers a bit of extra hold, the way the tread on a tire bites the road. But when researchers actually tested that, they found the ridges might not help us grip much at all. Some studies even suggested they make the contact a little worse, not better. So now there are other ideas floating around. Maybe the ridges help us feel, help us sense the finest textures, the difference between silk and cotton, the tiny grain of a wooden table. Maybe they help wick away a little moisture. But the truth is, we still can't say for certain why they're there, or why yours had to be so utterly, perfectly your own. You carry a signature on the tips of your fingers that will never be repeated in all of time. And even the cleverest minds can't fully explain it. There's something lovely in that, isn't there? A little bit of unrepeatable magic, right there at the ends of your hands, resting soft against the blanket while you drift. Now, let me tell you about something that happens on your skin too, though this one you can actually feel when it comes. Goosebumps, that funny little prickle that rises on your arms when a cold breeze slips through, or when a piece of music swells at just the right moment, or when someone tells a story that reaches straight into your chest. Tiny bumps rising all across your skin, each one a little muscle at the base of a hair, pulling that hair upright. And here's the puzzle. For most of them, we can't really say what good it does us anymore. Back when our distant ancestors were covered in thick fur, it made a kind of sense. Fluff the fur up in the cold, and you trap a warm layer of air against the skin, like puffing up a down blanket. Fluff the fur up when you're frightened, and you look bigger, more fearsome to whatever's threatening you. You've seen a cat do it, tail swelling to twice its size. That's the very same reflex, still living quietly inside you. But we lost our fur an awfully long time ago. And yet the reflex stayed. We still get goosebumps, even though we've got no thick coat left to fluff. And stranger still, we get them from things that aren't cold or dangerous at all. A beautiful song, a memory, a moment of awe so big it spills over onto the skin. Why should a piece of music, just air trembling, remember, reach down and pull the hairs on your arm upright? Nobody can fully explain it. It's a leftover, a soft echo of a body we used to have, still answering calls that no longer quite make sense. And I find that strangely sweet, don't you? That you carry these gentle little ghosts of an older self around with you, rising to the surface now and then, when something moves you. There's no need to do a thing about it tonight. Just know it's there. One more small unsolved wonder living quietly in your skin, keeping you company as you fall. Let's drift a little further out now, away from the body, out into the wide world, because some of these mysteries live out there, in the open air, in the weather itself. Have you ever heard of ball lightning? It's one of those things that sounds almost too strange to be real. And for the longest time, plenty of serious people thought it wasn't. The stories go back centuries. During a thunderstorm, a glowing ball of light appears, sometimes the size of a pea, sometimes as big as a beach ball, floating along, drifting through the air, sometimes slipping right through a window or down a chimney, into a room full of astonished people. It hovers. It hums, some say. It glows, soft and eerie, for a few seconds, maybe longer, and then it simply vanishes, sometimes with a small pop, sometimes without a sound at all. For hundreds of years, scientists more or less waved these tales away, chalking them up to imagination, or trickery, or people's eyes playing games in a frightening storm. But the reports kept coming, from sailors, from farmers, from pilots, from careful, level-headed folks who swore they'd seen it with their own eyes. And then, in more recent times, a few researchers actually managed to catch glimpses of it, even to record something like it. So now most everyone agrees the thing is real. And yet, would you believe, we still can't fully explain what it is, or how it forms, or why it does the peculiar things it does. There are theories, of course. Some say it's a little cloud of glowing, floating material, kicked up from the ground when regular lightning strikes. Some say it's something to do with electric fields lingering in the air. But no one has pinned it down for certain. A glowing orb, drifting silently through a storm, and the whole weight of modern science still can't say quite what it is. Isn't that a wonderful thing to know, as you lie there safe and dry and warm? That the sky still keeps a few of its secrets, even now. You can just let that image float through you, soft and glowing and harmless, a gentle little light drifting off into the dark, taking your last thoughts along with it. And here's another one that lives right in your own face, something you've probably done and felt a little sheepish about. Blushing. That warm flush that rises up your neck and into your cheeks when you're embarrassed, or caught out, or suddenly the center of attention. Your skin goes pink, your face grows warm, and, most maddening of all, the more you don't want it to happen, the more it does. Now, we can explain the mechanics of it well enough. Little blood vessels near the surface of your face open up, more blood rushes through, and the skin warms and reddens. That part's no mystery. But why? Why on earth would we have developed a reflex that broadcasts our most awkward, uncomfortable moments to everyone watching, painting them right across our faces where no one can miss them? It seems, at first, like the last thing a creature would want. And yet, here's the gentle idea some people have landed on. Maybe blushing isn't a flaw at all. Maybe it's a kind of honesty the body does all on its own. When you blush, you're showing everyone around you that you care, that you know you've slipped, that you're not trying to hide it. It's a signal of sincerity, one you can't fake and can't hold back. And that very helplessness is what makes it trustworthy. A blush says, I'm being real with you, whether I want to or not. But even that's just a lovely guess. We are, once again, the only creatures who do it, the only faces on this whole planet that go warm and pink with feeling, and we still can't say for certain why. So the next time you feel that heat rise, maybe you can be a little kinder to yourself about it. It's just your body telling the truth in the only language it knows. Let that be one more soft thing you don't have to solve tonight. Let me give you one more before we drift on. And this one's almost silly. It's so small, but it delights me every time. Have you ever stepped out of a dim room into bright sunshine and felt yourself, out of nowhere, sneeze? Just from the light? Not from dust, not from a tickle, not from a cold, but simply from stepping into the brightness. If that's ever happened to you, you're in good company. Something like 1 in every 4 people does it, maybe even more. It runs in families, passed down from parent to child like the color of your eyes. And it has a wonderfully grand name, a whole mouthful of Latin. But the plain truth underneath all that fancy language is that nobody actually knows why it happens. The best guess is that the wires get a little crossed somewhere deep in the nervous system. The signal that says too bright, close the eyes, and the signal that says something's tickling the nose, sneeze it out, runs so close together in there that in some people, one sets off the other. The light comes flooding in, and the message spills over onto the wrong track, and out comes a sneeze. But that's just the shape of an idea, not a settled answer. We can send machines to other planets. We can peer at the very edge of the universe, and we still can't say for certain why a bit of sunshine makes some folks sneeze. And honestly, isn't that the most charming thing? That the mystery isn't always out among the stars or buried in the deep. Sometimes it's just there, in a sunny doorway, in the crook of an ordinary afternoon, hiding in the smallest and most familiar corners of being alive. You've been surrounded by these little unsolved wonders your whole life, tucked into your skin and your eyes and your storms and your tears. And you never had to understand a single one of them to live gently inside them all. So let them be. Let them hum their quiet music around you, all these small and lovely secrets. And let yourself sink a little deeper still into the warm and patient dark, with nothing left to carry and nothing left to know. Let me stay right here in the small and near for a while longer, because there are so many little wonders folded into your own body that we could linger among them all night. Here's one you probably don't think about, not once in a whole year, and yet it shapes almost everything you do with your hands. Which hand do you reach with? Which one holds the pen, catches the falling glass, waves goodbye at the door? For most of us, it's the right. But for something like 1 in every 10 people, it's the left. And here's the gentle little mystery of it. Nobody really knows why. Nobody can say for certain what tips a person one way or the other, or why we're the only creatures who lean so heavily as a whole species toward a single side. Think about it, softly, the way you'd turn a thought over, half asleep. Most animals don't have a strong preference at all across their kind. Some individual cats or dogs might favor a paw, sure. But if you looked at all of them together, it would come out roughly even, half one way and half the other. Only we humans line up so lopsidedly, generation after generation, 9 out of 10 of us reaching with the right. That pattern has held for as long as we can look back, in old paintings, in ancient tools worn down on one particular edge, in handprints pressed onto cave walls tens of thousands of years ago. Even back then, most of the hands were right hands. Something about us has always leaned this way, and we still can't fully say what or why. There are ideas, of course, the way there always are. Something about the two halves of the brain and how they divide up the work between them. Something about language living mostly on one side and the hand that side controls coming along for the ride. But none of it quite closes the case. None of it explains the lefty who paints with such grace, or the way handedness can skip and scatter through a family in no tidy pattern at all. So it stays a little open, a little unsolved. This everyday thing you settle 100 times a day without a single thought. The hand resting easy on your blanket right now. the one you'd reach out with if you needed to, chose itself long ago, in some quiet way we've never quite traced. And you never had to understand it. It just works, faithfully, softly, the way so much of you does. Let that be one more thing you don't have to sort out tonight. And while we're wandering through the small and the strange, let me offer you another one that everybody's felt and nobody can fully explain. Hiccups. Those funny little catches in the breath that come out of nowhere. That jolt you gently mid-sentence and then just as mysteriously fade away. You've had them since before you can remember. In fact, you had them before you were even born, tucked away in the warm dark, hiccuping away weeks and weeks before your first breath of air. Every baby does. And here's the puzzle that's kept people scratching their heads for the longest time. Nobody's quite sure what they're for, or why we bother having them at all. A hiccup, when you look at what's actually happening, is a strange little event. A big muscle low in your chest gives a sudden pull. You gasp in a quick breath without meaning to. And then, almost at once, a small flap at the top of your throat snaps shut and stops that breath in its tracks. That snapping shut is the sound of it, that soft little hic. And the thing is, it doesn't seem to do you any good. It doesn't help you breathe. It doesn't clear anything out. It just happens, uselessly, charmingly, and then goes on its way. So why would the body keep a reflex that serves no purpose? One of the tenderest guesses is that hiccups are a kind of leftover, an echo from long, long ago, from creatures that came before us and breathed in a different way, some of them partly through gills. The little pattern of that motion, the gulp and the closing flap, may have stayed folded into us across untold ages, surfacing now and then like an old habit the body never quite forgot. Another gentle idea is that they help a tiny baby learn to coordinate the muscles it'll one day need for feeding, a soft rehearsal in the dark before the real work begins. But these are only guesses, only lovely shapes we've drawn around a thing we can't quite hold. The plain truth is that this little hiccup, this thing that's tickled and pestered every single person who's ever lived, remains genuinely unexplained. Isn't that a comfort in its own funny way, that even something so silly, so common, so utterly harmless, still keeps its secret? You don't have to solve it. You never did. Let it be. Here's another one that lives right in your own skin, and this one might make you smile as you sink. Try sometime, not now, but sometime when you're awake and curious, to tickle yourself. Go on and try. Run your own fingers along your own ribs, the exact spot where someone else could make you squirm and laugh and beg them to stop. And you'll find, every time, that nothing happens. No giggle, no jump, nothing at all. It simply doesn't work. You cannot tickle yourself, no matter how hard you try. And the reason why turns out to be one of those quietly astonishing little mysteries of the mind. The best understanding we have is that your brain is always, always predicting what your own body is about to do. Before your hand even moves, some part of you already knows exactly where it's going and what it'll feel like when it lands. And because your brain saw it coming, it gently dials the sensation down, hushes it, treats it as old news, nothing to react to. But when someone else's fingers come dancing along your side, your brain can't predict that. It doesn't know the timing, doesn't know the path, can't guess the next moment, and so the feeling lands full and sharp and surprising. and out comes the helpless laughter. That's the leading idea, anyway. A body that can't startle itself, because it's forever one step ahead of its own hands. But even that doesn't wrap the whole thing up, because when you really press on it, we still don't fully understand why tickling makes us laugh at all. Why that particular touch in those particular places should produce something so like joy or something so like distress, sometimes both tangled together in the very same moment. Why a child shrieks with delight and pleads for more and less all at once. It's one of the oldest games there is, played between parents and babies in every corner of the world. And we still can't say for certain what it's really doing, or why we're built to feel it the way we do. Something about connection, maybe. Something about play and trust and learning where your own edges are, but mostly it just stays open. Another small and cheerful riddle stitched right into being alive. You can let it stay that way. There's nothing to figure out. There never was. Let me carry you somewhere a little wider now, out past your own skin, out into the open world, because the mysteries don't stop at the edges of us. Have you ever heard of the singing sands? In certain deserts, in a scattered handful of special places around the world, there are dunes that make sound. Not a whisper, not a faint hiss, but a deep, low, humming note. A drone so strong and steady that people have mistaken it for distant engines or far-off thunder, or some great creature groaning underground. When the sand on these particular dunes begins to slide, when a whole sheet of it comes tumbling down the slope, the whole hill seems to sing, one long booming tone that can carry for a mile or more and go on for minutes at a time. Travelers have written about this for centuries, describing the sound with a kind of wonder and unease, as though the desert itself had found a voice. And for the longest time, it was pure mystery, the sort of thing people half believed and half doubted. But it's real. You can stand there and feel it hum right up through the soles of your feet. The strange part, the part that still isn't fully settled, is exactly how a heap of dry grains can make a note so pure, so musical, almost like a single steady chord held by an unseen instrument. It seems to have something to do with the grains all being just the right size, all rounded and smooth in just the right way, and with the way they slide over one another in near perfect unison. Thousands upon thousands of tiny movements, somehow falling into step and ringing out together as one. But the fine details of it, the precise recipe that turns a landslide into a song, still slip through our fingers. Scientists go out to these dunes with their instruments, and they measure, and they wonder, and they walk away, still not entirely sure. Isn't that a beautiful thing to drift on? Somewhere out there, right now, under a wide and starry desert sky, there are hills of sand that can sing, and even the people who study them can't fully explain the tune. You don't have to go there. You don't have to hear it. It's enough, I think, just to know it's out there, humming its low and ancient note across the empty dunes, whether anyone's listening or not. The world is so much stranger and more musical than it usually lets on. And you get to rest right in the middle of it, one small warm creature in a soft bed, while somewhere far away, the desert quietly sings itself to sleep. Now let me bring you back close again, back to something you carry with you everywhere, something so much a part of you that you've likely never once thought to question it. Your fingerprints, those little loops and whorls and ridges pressed into the tips of your fingers, the ones no one else in all the world quite shares. Not even a twin who shares everything else. You've had them since before you were born, formed in those first quiet months in the dark, and they'll stay with you, unchanged, your whole life long. And here's a small mystery folded into them that most people never pause on. We're still not entirely sure what they're for. The obvious guess, the one you might reach for, is grip. That all those tiny ridges help us hold on to things, the way the tread on a tire helps it grip the road. It's a sensible thought, but when people actually went and tested it, carefully, patiently, the answer got muddier. In some cases, the ridges didn't seem to help us hold smooth things any better at all, and might even, in certain situations, do the opposite. So then perhaps it's about touch, about feeling. Perhaps those ridges help you sense the finest textures, sending little trembles up into the nerves as your fingertip moves across a surface, sharpening your sense of the world at the very tips of you. That's a lovely idea, and there may well be truth in it. But it's still not settled, still not certain, still one of those ordinary wonders we live inside without ever quite explaining. Think about it, gently, as you lie there. The pattern on your fingers is entirely, perfectly yours. Out of all the billions of people who have ever lived, and all the billions living now, not one has ever had exactly the pattern you have. It was drawn onto you before you took your first breath, by some quiet interplay of the way your skin grew and folded and settled in those early days. A pattern too fine and too tangled for anyone to have planned. And it will stay, faithfully, to the very end. The hand on your blanket carries a signature no one has ever forged, and no one ever will. And we still can't fully say why you have it, or what it's really there to do. You never needed to know. It's just yours, quietly, completely. The way so many of the best things are, let all of these gather softly around you now. These small, close secrets, and these far wide ones. The hand you reach with and can't explain. The hiccups you've had since before your first breath. The tickle that only another's fingers can find. The distant dunes that sing. The fingerprints that are yours alone and no one's design. You've been surrounded your whole life by these gentle unsolved things, near and far, in your own skin and out past the horizon. And you never had to understand a single one of them to belong here, to rest here, to be held safe and warm right in the middle of it all. So let them be. Let them hum their quiet music around you, all these small and lovely secrets, while you sink a little deeper still into the soft and patient dark, with nothing to carry and nothing to solve, and nothing left to do but drift. And yet, even as they settle, there's always another one waiting just beyond them, soft and patient, ready to drift in whenever you're ready to notice it. So let me bring you one more small wonder, and this one hides inside something as ordinary as stepping out into the sunshine. Here's the thing. For a great many people, maybe 1 in every 3 or 4, walking out of a dim room into bright daylight makes them sneeze. Not because of dust, not because of pollen, not because of anything in the air at all. Just the light. The sun comes out from behind a cloud, or they step out through a doorway into the glare of a bright afternoon, and, almost without fail, they sneeze. Sometimes once, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a neat little row. And if you've never had it happen, you might not believe it's a real thing at all. But it is. It runs in families, passed quietly from parent to child, like the color of your eyes or the shape of your smile. It's been noticed for a very long time, written about by curious minds going all the way back to the ancient world. People scratching their heads at this odd little quirk of stepping into the light. And do you know what the honest answer is? When you ask why it happens, we're really not sure. The best guess is that somewhere in the tangle of nerves inside your head, the wires that carry the message of bright light and the wires that trigger a sneeze run so close together that one accidentally sets off the other. A signal meant for your eyes brushes up against a signal meant for your nose, and out comes the sneeze. It's a lovely, harmless little short circuit. But that's only a guess, a gentle sketch of an answer. Nobody has ever fully mapped it, never quite pinned down exactly why some people have it and some people don't. So there are folks walking around the world right now who sneeze at the sun and can't tell you why, and never really needed to. It's just one more of these soft little riddles we carry, tucked in among all the rest. Let that thought drift off now, gentle as a sneeze fading in the warm air, and let another take its quiet place. Think for a moment about your hands, about which one you reach with, without ever deciding to. When you pick up a cup, when you write your name, when you reach out to catch something tossed your way, one hand goes first, almost always the same one, and you never once had to choose it. Most people in the world are right-handed, roughly 9 in every 10 of us, and a smaller number, maybe 1 in 10, lead with the left. This has been true, as far as anyone can tell, for thousands and thousands of years. Look at ancient tools, worn in particular ways. Look at old paintings, at handprints pressed onto cave walls in the deep dark of prehistory. The pattern was already there. That same lopsided split, most reaching with the right, a faithful few reaching with the left. And here's the soft mystery folded into it. We still can't fully say why. Why do we have a favored hand at all? Plenty of animals don't. Not the way we do. Not as a whole species leaning so strongly one direction. And why does the split land where it does, so heavily toward the right? And what decides, for any one small child, whether they'll grow up reaching left or reaching right? There are threads of an answer, whispers of it, in the way the two halves of the brain divide up their work, hints of it passed down through families. But no one has ever tied it all together into something certain. It's another one of those things about your own body that you've simply always lived inside, never questioning, never needing to. The hand resting easy on your blanket right now, the one that always seems to go first, carries its own quiet, unsolved story, and it has since before you could speak. Isn't that a gentle thing to rest on? That something as simple as which hand you reach with is still, in its deepest roots, a small, unanswered question. You've been doing it perfectly your whole life without a single explanation. And tonight, there's nothing to reach for at all. Both hands can lie still and heavy and warm, with nothing to hold and nowhere to go. Now let me bring you something even closer to the heart. Something you've done since you were very small. Something that can pour out of you when you're sad. And strangely, when you're overflowing with joy too. Crying. The kind of crying that comes with feeling, I mean. Because here's a thing most people never stop to notice. We're the only creatures we know of who weep from emotion. Animals make tears, of course. Their eyes water to stay clean and moist, to wash away a bit of dust or grit, the same way yours do. But as far as anyone can tell, no other creature cries because its heart is full. No other animal sits with grief, or is so moved by something beautiful, or so swept up in tenderness that salt water spills quietly down its face. That seems to belong to us alone. And the softest part of the mystery is that no one can fully say why. Why should a feeling, something with no weight and no shape, reach down and turn a lever somewhere behind your eyes and make them spill over? What is it for? One tender idea is that those tears are a kind of signal, a way of showing others, without a single word, that you're hurting, that you need comfort, that you could use a gentle hand, a message the whole world understands the moment they see it, in any language, in any corner of the earth. Another idea is that the tears themselves carry something away, that the very act of weeping helps drain off some of what's built up inside, leaving you a little lighter, a little more at rest. Both ideas may hold some truth. Neither is settled, and so the next time your eyes fill, whether from sorrow or from something almost unbearably lovely, you can know that you're doing one of the most human things there is, and one of the least understood. It's yours. It's ancient. And no one has ever fully explained it. But you don't need to explain it tonight. Tonight your eyes can just grow heavy and still, closing softly on their own, with no feeling too big to carry, nothing pressing behind them, but the warm and simple pull of sleep. Here's another one, so small and so familiar, you've surely done it 100 times just today, without ever once thinking of it. A sigh. That long, slow breath that swells up and spills out of you, deeper than the ones before it. You do it when you're tired. You do it when you're relieved. You do it when you're sad or bored, or finally letting go of something you've been holding all day. And you also do it, quietly, without any feeling attached to it at all, a few times every hour, all day and all night, whether you're awake or fast asleep. And would you believe that this ordinary breath, this thing your body does over and over without ever asking you, is still not fully understood? For the longest time, a sigh seemed like nothing more than a bit of emotion leaking out, a small release of feeling. But it turns out your body sighs on its own schedule, tucked into your breathing like clockwork, whether or not there's any feeling behind it. The best thinking now is that a sigh has a gentle, hidden job to do, that deep in your lungs are millions of tiny pockets, delicate little sacs where each breath does its quiet work, and that now and then some of them start to go slack, to sink closed, and a sigh, that big, slow, swelling breath, puffs them softly back open again, keeping the whole delicate system fresh and supple. A little maintenance breath, a soft tending of yourself that happens without your say-so. That's the current best guess, and it's a beautiful one. But exactly how your body knows when to do it, what quiet clock deep inside decides the moment, that's still not fully clear. There's something wonderfully humbling in that. Your body knows how to keep itself whole in ways your thinking mind will never have to understand. So go ahead. Let a slow breath rise up now, all on its own, and let it out long and easy. And know that your body will keep tending you like that all night long, breathing and sighing and mending, while you do nothing at all but rest. And close to that one, twined right around it, is another small thing your body does that we still can't fully pin down. Stretching, that long, luxurious pull you make when you first wake, or when you've been still too long. Arms reaching, back arching, everything tightening, and then melting loose again. Almost every animal does it too. Cats and dogs and birds, waking from their own sleep with that same slow, whole body reach. It feels so good, doesn't it? That deep, satisfying stretch. And yet no one can fully say why we're built to do it, why it feels the way it does, why nearly every creature that sleeps seems to wake into that same unhurried unfurling. It's one of the most common things any animal does, and one of the quietest little unsolved mysteries there is. You'll do it in the morning without deciding to, and you won't think about it for a second. And that's exactly as it should be. Let me carry you a little wider now, out past your own warm skin, out past this room, out into the wide sleeping world. Because there's a mystery out there that many people have actually heard, though not everyone can. In quiet places all over the world, in certain towns and certain valleys, some people report hearing a sound. A low, faint, steady hum, a soft drone, always there in the background, so low it sits at the very bottom edge of what a person can hear, like the rumble of a distant engine that never switches off, or the hum of a great machine somewhere just out of sight. Most people in these places hear nothing at all, but a few, a scattered few, hear it clearly, especially at night, especially in the deep quiet, when all the other sounds of the day have faded away and there's nothing left to cover it up. They describe it almost the same way wherever they are, in one country or another, thousands of miles apart. A low, throbbing, tireless hum. And for years and years, people have gone looking for the source of it. They've searched for machinery, for distant traffic, for water flowing underground, for all sorts of ordinary explanations. And in some places, they've found a cause. But in others, they've never found a thing. The hum stays, faithful and unexplained, heard by a handful of people who can't make it stop and can't make others hear it. Some think it might have something to do with the way certain ears are built, some rare sensitivity to sounds too low for most of us. Some think it comes from far-off natural sources, the deep, slow movements of the ocean, or the wind working across the land in ways too vast and too gentle to notice. No one is certain. It remains one of those strange, soft riddles of the world, a low note humming somewhere out there in the dark, heard by some, unheard by most, and understood by no one. Isn't that a curious and lovely thing to drift on? That right now, somewhere in the world, in some quiet town wrapped in its own night, a person is lying awake and listening to a hum that science still can't name. And here you are wrapped in your own quiet, your own gentle dark, surrounded by your own soft chorus of unsolved things. The sneeze that greets the sun, the hand that always reaches first, the tears that come from feeling, the sigh that tends you without asking, the long, sweet stretch, the low hum out there in the night, all of them humming quietly around you now, near and far, small and vast, asking nothing of you at all. You don't have to hear the hum. You don't have to solve a single one. You can just lie here, warm and heavy and safe, and let them keep their gentle secrets, while you sink a little deeper into the soft and patient dark, with nothing to carry and nothing to answer, and nothing left to do but drift, Let me carry that hum with us a little while, because there's another sound out there that science still can't fully account for. And this one comes from the deep, dark water, far out in the ocean, in the vast cold rooms of the sea where the light never reaches. The whales are singing. You've probably heard a little of it, that long, slow, aching sound, rising and falling, stretching out for minutes at a time. The great whales, especially the humpbacks, sing these enormous songs. And here's the strange part. The males in one whole region of the ocean will all sing the same song, note for note, phrase for phrase, as if they'd rehearsed it together. And then, slowly, over a season, the song will change. A new phrase creeps in, an old one drops away, and every whale for hundreds of miles picks up the change and sings the new version. Nobody taught them in the way we'd teach a song. Nobody's conducting. And yet the tune spreads across the water like a rumor, until an entire population is singing something none of them were singing the year before. And the thing science still can't fully explain is simply this. Why? What are these songs for? We've got guesses, of course. Maybe it's the males calling out to the females, singing to be chosen. Maybe it's a way of marking where they are in all that endless dark. Maybe it's something we don't have a word for yet, some purpose that only makes sense if you're a creature the size of a bus, drifting through water so deep it may as well be another world. The truth is, we can record the songs. We can slow them down and study every note, but we can't say for certain what the whales are saying, or why the whole ocean choir decides, all at once, to learn a new tune. Isn't that a lovely thing to sink into? That somewhere below you tonight, in water darker than the room you're lying in, something enormous and gentle is singing a song we've listened to for years and still can't translate. You don't have to understand it either. Just let it drift under you, slow and deep, like a current rocking a small boat. Now let me bring you back in from that wide, cold ocean, back to something warm and close and a little bit funny, because this next one has almost certainly happened to you today, or yesterday, or it's about to happen right now just because I've mentioned it. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head? Of course you have. Everyone has. A little scrap of a tune, playing over and over, round and round, whether you want it there or not. You didn't put it on. You can't quite turn it off. It just loops, sometimes for hours, sometimes the same 4 or 5 seconds again and again, like a needle caught in a groove. There's even a name for it now. People call them earworms, which is a slightly unpleasant word for such a harmless little visitor. And here's what I find so wonderful about it. Science still can't fully explain why it happens, or what it's actually doing up there. Think about how odd it really is. Your brain, this astonishing thing that runs your breathing and your heartbeat and every thought you've ever had, decides, entirely on its own, to play you a song you didn't ask for. And usually, it's not even the whole song. It's a fragment, a hook, the one catchy little piece, playing on repeat while the rest of the tune just quietly refuses to show up. Some researchers think it happens when a song is a bit unfinished in your mind, and your brain keeps circling back, trying to complete the loop, like a hand patting its pockets, looking for keys it can't find. Some think certain tunes are just shaped in a way that fits the loops of the mind a little too neatly, easy to start and hard to stop. But nobody knows for sure why one song sticks and another slides right off, or why they come more often when your mind is tired or wandering or drifting off, the way yours is now. Maybe that's why they're so common right at the edge of sleep. Isn't it a gentle sort of comedy that even in the quiet of your own head, there's a small unsolved mystery humming a tune? And if one's playing for you now, softly, don't fight it. Let it slow down. Let it grow faint and far away, like music from a house down the street, until it fades into the hush along with everything else. Let me stay close to the mind for a moment, because there's another thing it does that we still can't properly explain. And it happens to you every single night, right here in this very bed. You dream. And then, almost always, you forget. Think about that for a second, but gently. Every night, your sleeping mind builds whole worlds, places you've never been, faces you've never seen, stories that twist and turn and feel completely real while you're inside them. Some of those dreams are vivid, enormous, full of feeling. And yet within minutes of opening your eyes, most of it is simply gone. It slips away like water through your fingers, and by the time you've had your morning drink, you might not remember a single thing. Now, you'd think a mind clever enough to invent all that would be clever enough to keep it. But no, we are by design forgetters of our own dreams, and science still can't fully say why. Some think it's a kind of housekeeping, that during sleep the brain is sorting through the day, deciding what to keep and what to let go. And the dreams themselves are just the sparks thrown off by all that sorting, not meant to be saved. Some think the very chemistry of the sleeping brain, the particular mix that lets us dream in the first place, is the same chemistry that makes it so hard to lay down a lasting memory. So the dream and the forgetting are two sides of the same coin. Some think we forget on purpose, that if we remembered every dream as clearly as real life, we'd have a hard time telling the two apart, and it's kinder somehow to let them dissolve. But the honest answer is, we don't know. Every morning, billions of people wake from adventures they'll never recall, and no one can tell you exactly why the door closes so quickly behind them. I think there's something restful in that, don't you? You don't have to hold on to your dreams tonight. You're allowed to let them come and go as they please, bright and strange while they last, gone without a trace by morning, asking nothing of you, leaving nothing behind but the faint warm feeling that somewhere in the night you traveled somewhere lovely. Here's another one, and this one's woven right through your body, in every drop of blood moving quietly through you as you lie there. You have a blood type. Most of us do know that much. Maybe you even know yours, one of those little letters with a plus or a minus attached. And we've known about blood types for a good while now, long enough that they've saved countless lives, because matching them properly is what makes it safe to give blood from one person to another. But here's the part that still puzzles the people who study it. Why do we have different types at all? Why should one person carry one kind of marker on their blood cells, and the next person a completely different one? What is it for? You'd think there'd be a clean, simple answer by now. There isn't. There are ideas, the way there always are. One of the more interesting ones is that the different types may have offered protection against different diseases long, long ago. Perhaps one blood type gave your distant ancestors a better chance against one particular sickness, while another type guarded against something else, so that over the ages, humanity ended up carrying a whole handful of different types, each one a kind of ancient shield against a different threat. It's a beautiful idea, but it's still mostly guesswork. Nobody can say with full certainty why the variety exists, or why the balance of types is spread across the world the way it is. Common in one place, rare in another. Something so basic, so literally down to the blood, and still, at its deepest root, an open question. Let that settle over you softly, this little marvel, that even the blood keeping you warm and alive tonight carries a small riddle inside it, quietly doing its work, whether we understand it or not. Let me lift you back out to the wide world once more. Up this time, up past the roof, past the clouds, all the way up to where the sky puts on its greatest and most silent show. Far up in the north and far down in the south, near the very ends of the earth, the sky sometimes fills with light. Great curtains of green and violet and rose, rippling and folding, sliding across the dark like something alive. The auroras, we call them, the northern and southern lights. Now, in broad strokes, we understand where they come from. They're born when tiny pieces of the sun, flung out across space, come streaming into the top of our air and set it glowing, the way a current can make certain things light up. That part we've mostly worked out. But there's a piece of it that people have argued about for a very long time, and it still isn't fully settled. Some people who've stood beneath the lights, out in the deep cold and the deeper quiet, swear that the auroras make a sound, a faint crackle, a soft hiss, or a whisper, right overhead, in time with the shifting of the light. For years and years, this was treated as pure imagination, and you can understand why. The place where the lights actually glow is so high up, so impossibly far above, that any sound made up there could never reach the ground. Or if it did, it would take so long that it could never line up with what the eyes are seeing. And so the storytellers were waved away, told they were hearing the blood in their own ears, or the hush of their own breath in the freezing air. But more recently, careful listeners have managed to actually record faint sounds during some of these displays, small claps and crackles, seeming to come from much closer to the ground than the lights themselves. And now the question is wide open again. What makes the sound? How can something happening so far overhead be heard, softly, right at the level of a person's own head? There are early ideas. Something about the cold air near the ground holding a kind of charge on still, clear nights, and releasing it in tiny whispers when the sky above goes wild. But no one can say for certain yet. So here's another gentle wonder to rest on: that the most beautiful lights in all the world may also, very faintly, sing. And even now the people who chase them can't fully explain the tune. You don't have to listen for it. Just picture those slow curtains of light, folding and unfolding somewhere far to the north, above a sleeping snow, quiet and enormous and unhurried, while you lie here just as quiet, just as unhurried, far below. And isn't it something? When you gather all of these up in your arms, the whale singing a song we can't translate, the little tunes stuck circling in your own head, the dreams that vanish before you can hold them, the riddle riding in your very blood, the great lights that may be humming softly at the top of the world, near and far, inside you and far beyond you, all of them turning quietly in the dark, and every single one of them still holding a secret that no one on this earth has fully solved. You're lying right in the middle of all that mystery now, wrapped up warm in the heart of it, and none of it needs a thing from you. Not an answer, not a guess, not even a thought. You can let the whales sing, and the lights ripple, and the little tune fade, and the dreams drift in and out like tide, while you stay exactly where you are, soft and heavy and safe, sinking a little further down with each slow breath into that deep and patient quiet where all the questions go gentle and there's nothing left to do but rest. Let me carry you gently onward, out past that last soft summary, because the night is far from over, and there are still so many quiet wonders waiting for us in the dark. Here's one that lives inside your own nose, of all places. Have you ever caught a certain smell out of nowhere and been yanked straight back into some moment from years and years ago? Not just reminded of it, but really there again. The kitchen of a house you lived in as a child, a particular soap, rain on a hot pavement, someone's coat. And it's never a vague, foggy sort of memory. It arrives whole, all at once, with a feeling attached, before you've even had time to think. It's the strangest thing, isn't it? You can look at an old photograph and feel a little tug, sure. But a smell reaches in somewhere deeper, somewhere older, and it pulls the whole moment up from the bottom like a bucket from a well. And the truth is, science still can't fully explain why scent does this so much more powerfully than anything else. There are pieces of it. The part of your brain that handles smell sits very close, in the tangle of things up there, to the parts that handle memory and feeling, closer than the wiring for sight or sound. So the message seems to take a kind of shortcut, slipping straight into the rooms where your oldest memories are kept. But why it should be so vivid, so complete, so able to fold time in half and set you down somewhere decades gone, that no one has really pinned down. So here's a soft little thought to rest on. Somewhere inside you, folded away, are 1,000 moments you don't even know you still have, waiting quietly for the right smell to come along and open the door. And tonight, you don't need to open a single one of them. You can just let them rest where they are, safe and whole, while you drift. And speaking of small mysteries hiding right there in your own skin, let me give you another one. And this one's almost funny. It's so ordinary. Why do we itch? I don't mean the itch of a bug bite, where there's an obvious reason. I mean the whole odd business of it. That little maddening signal that says scratch here, and the strange relief when you finally do. You'd think, of all the things our bodies get up to, we'd have this one completely worked out by now. But we don't. For the longest time, people figured an itch was just a mild version of pain, the same alarm system turned down low. Turns out that's not quite right. An itch seems to travel along its own private set of nerves, its own separate little pathway, carrying its own particular message all its own. And stranger still is how catching it is. You already know this. Just hearing someone talk about itching, just the word, the idea of a tickle crawling across the skin, and suddenly, there it is, somewhere on your own arm, or your neck, a faint prickle asking to be scratched. You might even feel it now, softly. And if you do, that's all right. That's just your body proving the point. No one can say for certain why an itch should spread from one person to another this way, like a yawn passed around a quiet room. There are guesses, something about how deeply wired we are to feel what we see others feeling. But it's still, in the end, an open question. This tiny everyday thing your skin does. And tonight, you can let every last itch fade away. Your skin can go quiet and still and untroubled, Nothing to scratch, nothing to tend, just the warm weight of the blanket resting easy against you. Let me lift you back out now, out past the walls, out into the wide world. Because there's a traveler out there I've always wanted to tell you about. And it makes one of the longest, strangest journeys of any creature alive. Think about the monarch butterfly, that small orange and black scrap of a thing, light as a whisper, thin as a petal. Every year, when the cold starts creeping in across the north, millions of them lift off and begin flying south, all the way down to a few small patches of forest, warm and high in the mountains far away. Thousands of kilometers they go, these tiny fragile things, drifting on the wind, until they reach the very same groves of trees their kind returns to every single winter. And here's the part that stops you cold. In the gentlest way, the butterflies that make the journey have never been there before. Not one of them. The ones that flew south last year lived and died long ago. The ones making the trip now are their great-grandchildren, several generations removed, and yet somehow they find their way to the exact same trees, the same handful of mountainsides in all the wide world, a place none of them has ever seen. How? How does a creature carry a map it was never given, to a home it has never known, passed down not through teaching, not through following, but somehow through the tiny thread of what it simply is? We have fragments of an answer, something about the angle of the sun, something about a sense for the earth's own quiet magnetism, guiding those paper wings. But the full secret of it, how so much knowing gets folded into something so small and so new to the world, we still can't really explain. Isn't that a lovely thing to drift on? That right now, on some warm mountainside, the trees are hung thick with orange wings, resting, having found their way home across a distance that beggars belief, carrying a memory that was never theirs to begin with. You can let them rest there in your mind, all those quiet wings folded shut, while you rest here just the same. And since we're out among the deep mysteries of the living world, let me tell you about one more traveler, and this one hides its secret so well that people searched for it for over 2,000 years. The eel, that long dark ribbon of a fish that lives in the rivers and ponds and quiet muddy waters all across so much of the world. People have known eels forever, caught them, eaten them, watched them slip through the reeds, and yet for the longest time, no one could answer the simplest question you might ask about any animal. Where do baby eels come from? Nobody had ever found an eel egg. Nobody had ever seen two eels breeding. Fishermen would catch grown eels by the thousands. But the very beginning of them, the nursery, the birthplace, was nowhere to be found. Some of the cleverest minds who ever lived scratched their heads over it. A few decided eels must simply appear out of the mud itself, born from the riverbed, since no other answer could be found. And it took until fairly modern times before anyone worked out even part of the truth, which turned out to be stranger than the guesses. When an eel gets old enough, it seems, it leaves its cozy river behind and swims out to sea, down the rivers and out into the wide salt water, and then keeps going for thousands of kilometers, out into one particular deep and distant corner of the ocean. And there, somewhere in that warm, weedy, secret patch of sea, they breed. And there the young are born, tiny and clear as glass. And then those tiny things drift all the way back, across the whole ocean, to find the rivers once more. But even now, even after all this searching, no one has ever actually watched a wild eel do this. No one has seen them spawn in that far-off water. We know they go there. We just can't quite catch them at the moment of it. The very heart of the mystery is still tucked away in the deep. So here's a soft thought for you. There are creatures we've lived alongside for all of human history. Creatures we thought we knew completely, that still keep the biggest secret of their lives hidden from us, out in the dark water, where we've never quite managed to follow. And you don't need to follow tonight either. You can let the eels swim on toward their secret sea, and let yourself sink deeper into your own warm, still, quiet place. Let me bring you back in close now, back to something gentle and near, because there's a thing your own face does, something you do without a thought, that turns out to be one of the great puzzles of who we are. Think about how you recognize a face. Any face. Someone you love walks into the room, and in a fraction of a heartbeat, before you could even name what you're seeing, you know them. Not their coat, not their walk, not their voice, just their face, that particular arrangement of a few soft features that somehow, out of all the billions of faces in the world, belongs to exactly one person. And you can do this even if they've grown older, even if they're laughing or crying or half in shadow, even if you haven't seen them in years. You do it for hundreds and hundreds of people, effortlessly, instantly, all your life long. It seems like the simplest thing in the world. And yet, when you try to understand how it actually works, it slips right through your fingers. We know there's a small patch of the brain that seems to specialize in it, that lights up quietly whenever a face appears. We know that some people lose this one ability and nothing else, unable to recognize even their own dearest ones by looking, though everything else about their seeing works fine. So we know it's something special, something set apart, a gift the mind gives most of us without asking. But how it truly does it, how it takes in a whole face all at once and just knows, that we still can't fully explain. It's such a tender thing, when you sit with it, that the way you find the people you love in a crowded room is, at its very root, a mystery even to the people who study it. And tonight, your eyes can rest, closed and easy, with no faces to search for, no one to find, everyone you love already held safe and warm somewhere inside you, needing nothing, waiting nowhere, just there. Let me stay soft and close a little longer, because here's another quiet one, and it's happening to you right now, whether you notice it or not. Your own sense of where your body is. Close your eyes, which they may well be already, and even without looking, you know exactly where your hand is, where your foot rests, how your arm is lying across the blanket. You didn't have to check. You just know, this constant, silent awareness of your own shape, held together somewhere below all your thinking. It has a name, this sixth quiet sense, though most people have never heard it. And while we understand a fair bit about the little sensors scattered all through your muscles and joints, the ones that report back on where every part of you is, the deeper question of how all those thousands of tiny messages get woven together into one smooth, seamless feeling of being a single body, whole and here and yours. That's still not fully understood. It's the sense that lets you touch your nose in the dark, that keeps you from thinking about your feet with every step, that holds the whole map of you together while your mind is free to wander elsewhere. And right now, as you lie here, It's doing its gentle work without any effort from you at all, keeping quiet watch over every part of you so that you can feel, without checking, without trying, exactly how safely and softly your whole body is held by the bed beneath you. And isn't that the shape of all of these really? The smell that opens a door to years ago, the itch that spreads from one person to the next, the butterfly finding a home it's never seen, the eel keeping the secret of its birth, the way you know a beloved face in a single glance, the quiet sense that holds your whole body together in the dark. Near things and far things, tiny things and enormous ones, and every single one of them still carrying a piece we can't explain. You're lying right here in the middle of all of it, wrapped up warm, one small and sleepy creature in a world absolutely brimming with gentle secrets. And not one of them is asking anything of you tonight. You can let the smells drift, and the butterflies rest, and the eels swim on, and let yourself go a little heavier, a little softer, sinking down another slow inch into the quiet, with nothing left to solve and nothing left to do but breathe and drift and rest. Let me bring you something soft and close again, because here's a mystery you've carried inside you your whole life, and most people never stop to notice it. You can't remember being very small. Think about it gently now. Somewhere back at the very beginning, there was a whole little person who was you, learning to hold a spoon, taking those first wobbly steps, hearing your own name for the very first time, being held and rocked and sung to more times than anyone could count. All of that happened. Every bit of it was real, and yet almost none of it is there when you reach back for it. The first 2 or 3 years of nearly everyone's life just aren't there. Wiped clean, gone soft into a kind of warm fog. Scientists even have a name for it. They call it childhood amnesia. And you'd think, of all the things to have figured out, we'd understand why the mind lets those earliest years slip away. But we don't. Not really. Some think it's because the part of the brain that files memories away for the long haul isn't quite finished building itself yet. So the memories form but never get properly stored, like writing in the sand right at the edge of the tide. Others think the memories are actually still in there somewhere, tucked away too deep to ever reach again, buried under everything that came after. Nobody knows for certain. And there's something so tender about that. When you sit with it, the most cared for time of your entire life, the years when you were held the most and worried the least, is the very part you can't call back. But maybe it doesn't need remembering. Maybe some of the gentlest things that ever happened to you are meant to be felt rather than kept, folded quietly into who you are without a single picture attached. And tonight, you don't need to remember any of it. You can just rest in that same old feeling of being small and safe and carried, no memory required, the way you were carried once at the very beginning. Now let me lift you back out into the wide world, up into the open evening sky, because there's a sight out there that has stopped people in their tracks for as long as there have been people to watch. Picture a great flock of small birds, starlings, thousands upon thousands of them, all rising up together over a field at dusk. And instead of scattering every which way, they move as one. They pour across the sky like smoke, folding and swirling and turning inside out. A great dark ribbon that swells and thins and swirls again. All of it happening in perfect, flowing unison. as if the whole flock were a single living thing with a single mind. People call it a murmuration, and if you've ever seen one, even in a video, you know it's the kind of thing that makes you go quiet inside. Here's the mystery. Nobody's leading. There's no chief bird out front calling the moves, no plan, no signal passed around. And yet 10,000 birds can turn at almost the very same instant, so fast and so together that for a long time, people simply couldn't work out how they did it. We've learned a little since. It seems each bird is only really watching a handful of its closest neighbors, maybe 6 or 7 of them, just matching what they do, moment to moment. And somehow, out of all those tiny local adjustments, all those small birds, each minding only the ones right beside them, the whole enormous shape emerges, coordinated and graceful and grand. But how it all stays so seamless, how a change ripples through thousands of bodies faster than you'd think possible, how something with no leader can look so utterly of one purpose that we still can't fully explain. And isn't that a lovely thing to drift on? That grace on that scale needs no one in charge. That thousands of small ones, each simply paying attention to the few closest to them, can make something so beautiful without anyone deciding it should be so. Let me stay with the strange and wonderful for a moment, because here's one that lives right inside you and comes bursting out whenever it pleases. And it's the simplest, most ordinary thing in the world: laughter. Think about what actually happens when something strikes you as funny. Your breath breaks up into these little bursts. Your face changes. A sound comes tumbling out of you that you didn't exactly decide to make. And for a few seconds, you feel lighter, looser, better. Everyone does it. Every culture on earth, every corner of the world. People laugh, and babies do it long before they can speak a single word, before they understand anything at all about the world. And yet, if you ask why laughter exists, why we do this peculiar thing at all, science still can't give you a clean answer. What's it for? One idea is that it's a kind of glue between people, a signal that says, we're safe here, we're together, this is play and not danger, a way of drawing closer without needing any words. There's a reason laughter is so much easier to find when you're with someone you love than when you're all alone. Another idea is that it started as a sort of relief, the body letting go of tension all at once when something turns out to be harmless after all. But the deeper question, why a good laugh feels so good, why it can wash the weight off a hard day in a way almost nothing else can, why we crave it and seek it out and remember the people who gave it to us. All of that is still more mystery than fact. There's something comforting in that, I think, that one of the very best things about being alive is something we do without instruction and don't fully understand. You don't need to understand a good laugh to be healed by one. And tonight, if a funny thing floats up out of your day as you drift, some small, silly moment, you can let it come, let it warm you, and carry that gentle lightness down with you into sleep. Here's a small and homely one now, the kind of thing you'd never expect to be a mystery. And it happens in the most ordinary corner of any kitchen. Sometimes, under just the right conditions, hot water freezes faster than cold water. Now stop, and let that be as strange as it really is. You'd think cold water would always win the race to freeze, since it's already got a head start, already closer to icy. It only makes sense, and yet, again and again, people have watched warm water turn to ice first, before the cold water sitting right beside it. It even has a name. They call it the Mpemba effect, after a schoolboy who noticed it happening with the ice cream mixture he was making, and insisted it was real even when the grown-ups told him it couldn't be. And the remarkable thing is, hundreds of years after people first wrote about it, we still can't fully agree on why it happens, or even, on some days, whether it truly happens at all. There are guesses, plenty of them, about evaporation, about the way heat moves through the water, about dissolved gases quietly slipping away, about the tiny structure of the water itself. But no single answer has settled the matter for good. Isn't that a wonderfully humble little thing? That's something as plain as a cup of water, something you've held 1,000 times, something you could set on your own counter tonight, still keeps a secret that some of the finest minds around have been arguing over for ages. The whole world is like that, really, right down to the smallest and most familiar things. There's wonder hiding even in a glass of water, if you only slow down enough to notice it. And you don't have to solve a thing. You can just let it be lovely and let yourself sink a little deeper into the warm. Let me carry you somewhere stranger still, down under the surface of the sea, because there's a creature down there that's about as close to an alien as anything on this earth. And the more we learn about it, the more astonishing it gets. The octopus. Picture one, soft and boneless, drifting through the dark water, changing color in a heartbeat, pouring its whole body through a gap no wider than its own eye. These are clever animals, remarkably clever. They solve puzzles, they open jars, they recognize particular people. They seem to play. They've been known to sneak out of their tanks at night on little adventures of their own. But here's the part that stops you cold. Most of an octopus's cleverness isn't tucked away in a central brain the way ours is. It's spread out, scattered all through its body, with a huge share of it living right in the arms. Each arm can taste and touch, and in a way seem to decide things partly on its own, even reaching and exploring without waiting for orders from headquarters. It's a mind that isn't gathered in one place, but poured all the way out to the fingertips, so to speak. And how that works. How a creature can be a single thinking being while so much of its thinking is happening out in its arms. What that's even like from the inside. Whether it feels like being one or being many. That's a mystery we've barely begun to touch. It reminds you, doesn't it, that being alive and aware might come in shapes utterly unlike our own, right here on our own planet, in our own oceans, living lives we can hardly imagine. And there's something peaceful in that too, that the world is so much bigger and stranger than the small patch of it we know, that you're one kind of mind among countless kinds, all of them drifting through the same dark water in their own way tonight. And let me give you one more before we drift on, a quiet one, close to home again, something you've watched 100 cats do without ever wondering how. A cat, dropped or slipping from some height, almost always manages to twist itself right way up and land softly on its feet. You've seen it. It seems the most natural thing in the world. But sit with the physics of it for a second, gently, the way you'd turn a smooth pebble over half asleep. When something's turning in mid-air with nothing to push against, no ground, no branch, nothing at all. It shouldn't be able to just flip itself over. And yet the cat does, every time, seemingly out of nothing, folding and unfolding its supple body in a way that lets it come around and meet the ground softly. People have studied this for well over 100 years, filming falling cats, filling pages with equations, trying to pin down exactly how the trick is done. We understand pieces of it now. The way the cat bends in the middle and turns the front and back of itself in opposite ways. But the full, tidy account of it, the complete answer to something a kitten can do without a single lesson, has stayed slippery and stubborn far longer than you'd ever guess. And that's the shape of all of these, isn't it? The things that look the simplest, a cup of water, a falling cat, a baby's forgotten years, a flock turning at dusk, turn out to hold as much wonder as the stars. You're lying here in the middle of a world absolutely stuffed with these gentle secrets, near ones and far ones. And not a single one of them needs solving tonight. You can let the starlings wheel, and the octopus drift, and the cats land soft, and let yourself go heavier and softer, sinking another slow inch down into the quiet, with nothing to do but rest. And here's another one, close to that same feeling. Another everyday thing you've watched without ever really asking about it. On a warm summer night, out over a field or along the edge of some quiet wood, the fireflies come out and begin to blink. You've seen them, those little green sparks lifting off the grass, winking on and off in the dark. Lovely enough on its own, but in some places in the world, under the right conditions, something happens that seems almost impossible. Thousands upon thousands of them, whole hillsides of them, begin to flash all together in perfect time, on and off, on and off. The entire forest pulsing like one slow heartbeat. No conductor, no signal passed from one to the next that we can find. No leader telling the rest when to shine. And yet they fall into step, all of them, until the trees themselves seem to breathe light. How they manage it, how thousands of tiny creatures scattered across the dark can agree without a word on the exact rhythm of their glowing, is something we still can't fully explain. We've got the beginnings of an answer, little rules each firefly might be following on its own that somehow add up to that great shared pulse. But the full picture, the real how of it, stays as soft and flickering as the lights themselves. Isn't that a gentle thing to carry down with you into sleep? That somewhere tonight, whole forests are quietly keeping time, glowing together in a language no one has managed to read, and staying right there among the trees for a moment, because there's something under them, down in the dark, quiet soil, that's every bit as strange. We used to think of a forest as a crowd of trees, each one standing alone, each one minding only itself, reaching for its own patch of light. But down beneath the ground, tangled all through the roots, there's a vast web of fine, pale threads, a network of fungus so fine and so far-reaching that it links tree to tree to tree across the whole forest floor. And along those threads, things seem to travel. A little sugar passed from an old tree to a young one struggling in the shade. A trickle of warning, it seems, when trouble comes, when insects start chewing at one corner of the wood, so that trees some distance away begin, somehow, to ready their defenses before the trouble ever reaches them. It looks, for all the world, like a forest quietly talking to itself, sharing and warning and tending its own, through a web we never even knew was there until lately. And how much of it is really happening? What's truly being said down in that dark underground conversation? How a wood might care for its own in ways we're only starting to glimpse. That's a mystery we've barely begun to sit with. Rest on that a while. The trees you've walked past all your life may be far less alone than they look, all of them holding hands under the ground, in the dark, the whole night long. And here's one that's been looking back at us the whole time, so plain we forget to wonder at it. The zebra and its stripes. Everybody knows a zebra, those bold black and white bands, one of the first animals a child learns to name. But ask the simple question, why? Why does a zebra wear stripes at all? And you'll find that even now, after all this time, nobody can say for certain. People have guessed and guessed. Maybe the stripes muddle a lion's eye when the herd runs and blurs together, so a hunter can't fix on any single animal. Maybe they keep the biting flies away, since those flies seem oddly reluctant to land on stripes. Maybe they help the zebras know one another, or help them keep cool under the hard African sun. Each idea has something going for it, and each one has holes. And so this most familiar of patterns, painted on an animal we've all known since we were small, keeps its reason tucked away. There's something lovely in that, isn't there? That you can look at a thing 1,000 times, name it without a second thought, and still not truly know the first thing about why it's made the way it's made. The world is full of these open questions, wearing perfectly ordinary faces. And one more of those, a small traveler with a gift we've never fully cracked. Think of the homing pigeon. You can take one of these plain gray birds, carry it in a covered basket for miles and miles, over hills it's never seen, down roads it's never traveled, to a place utterly strange to it, and let it go. And it will circle once or twice, get its bearings out of thin air, and fly straight home, sometimes over enormous distances, back to the one small loft it knows. How? What is it reading up there? We think it uses the sun, and something in the Earth's own magnetic field, a sense we simply don't have, a feel for which way is home written somewhere we can't point to. Maybe smells carried on the wind, maybe landmarks near the end. But the full account of how a pigeon always knows the way back, that quiet, unshakable pull toward home that lives inside such an ordinary little bird, still slips through our fingers when we try to hold all of it at once. And isn't that a tender thought to drift on, here at the end of the day, when you're already home, already safe in your own warm bed, with no journey left to make and nowhere else you need to be? Some part of every creature seems to know the way back to rest. And you found yours. You're here. Let all of these settle now. The fireflies keeping their soft, impossible time. The forests murmuring underground. The zebra in its unexplained stripes. The little bird that always knows the way home. Add them to the great gathering of gentle mysteries we've wandered through all this long night. The falling cat and the drifting octopus. The singing sands and the humming towns. The whales in the deep, dark water. And the lights at the top of the world. Gravity holding you soft against the bed. And sleep itself. That nightly wonder you're sinking into even now. 100 quiet secrets, near ones and far ones, tiny ones and vast ones, and not a single one of them asking anything of you tonight. They'll keep. They've kept for a very long time, patient and unhurried, and they'll still be there, humming softly in the dark, long after you've let go and drifted off. There's nothing here to solve. There never was. There's only this, the wonder of it, warm and endless, and you resting easy in the middle of it all. I'm going to let my voice grow softer now and slower, and I'll drift on a little longer even as you go, so you don't have to do a thing. If you're still here, still floating along on the edge, know that another one of these quiet stories will begin on its own in just a little while, carrying you gently on into the night, so you can keep drifting without ever lifting a finger. Just let it come. Let it carry you the way a slow current carries a leaf, easy and unhurried, down and down into the soft dark. There's nothing you need to reach for, nothing you need to hold on to. It'll all be here. And if these gentle wanderings have become a small comfort to you, one of those quiet rituals that helps you set the day down and let go, then, whenever you like, in no hurry at all, you might tap that subscribe button so we can keep meeting here in the dark like this, night after night, and I can keep walking you softly towards sleep. But that's for another time. Not now. Right now, there's nothing to do at all. Right now, the room is quiet around you, and the world has gone soft at its edges, and you're heavier than you were, and warmer, and further away from all the noise and the doing and the wanting. All the questions you carried in with you today, all the things you thought you had to figure out, you can leave them right where they lie. If the greatest minds who ever lived can rest easy without all the answers, so can you. You're allowed to not know. You're allowed to simply wonder, and then to let even the wondering go, and sink, and rest. The starlings are wheeling somewhere out in the dusk. The fireflies are keeping their soft time. The whales are singing in the deep, and the lights are turning at the top of the sky, and the sands are humming their old unnameable tune. And every gentle mystery we touch tonight is still out there glowing quietly, asking nothing, keeping watch over a world far stranger and lovelier than it usually lets on. And you're a part of it, one small and curious and sleepy creature, held safe in the middle of all that wonder, drifting off into the same soft dark as everything else that lives. So let go now, all the way. Let your breath come slow and easy, and forget that you're even guiding it. Let the last of the day dissolve. Let yourself grow so heavy and so peaceful that there's nothing left but the warmth of the blanket and the quiet of the room, and the slow, gentle tide of sleep pulling you under, one soft inch at a time. There's nowhere to be. There's nothing to solve. There's only rest, deep and easy and waiting for you, right here, right now. Sleep well, sleep long and deep and easy. And I'll be here again, whenever you need me, waiting quietly in the dark. Good night.